my dad was a man. So I killed him! Kill all the men, kill all the men. Kill the man. Kill all the men, kill all the men. Kill the men, kill all the men. Their penises are small. Kill them all! Oh, it was an amazing time for comedy. What was it? Kill all the men, kill all the men. All the men were booing, and some of the women were too. I think the thing was that I was the only woman at that time that was actually standing up on stage and saying that all men should be killed. And then I killed him! I think without my Kill All the Men song, that the world today would be an unrecognisably different place. Amazing times. Today I review sex aids on live TV. At the back of my mind I'm always thinking, oh, kill all the men! Incredible times for British comedy.
They were amazing times for comedy then. Sieg Heil. I am... No, let me get it right. Ich bin gay.
Ich bin ein Homosexueller. I am gay. Ich bin gay. Ich bin gay. Ich bin gay. Sieg Heil.
I mean, what you've got to realise is that this was 1979, 1980. Weird times. I mean, there were a lot of people alive back then who died in the Second World War. And, well, Hitler was a big issue for these guys, still a big deal for them.
Oh, hey, you want a chicken boy? You want to sit on my feet too, mister? Ich bin doggy!
I like to think that I did my bit to bring gay issues to the fore. But basically, what I did was to take all these things and roll them up into a tight ball of confrontation, handed it to them and said, there you are. You don't like it, do you? And they didn't.
I don't know, no Gabbers, I don't like his girl, but I like his boys!
What did he mean? What did it mean? Anything. It was Dadaist. It was like Samuel Beckett. Sieg Heil, ich bin gay. It was just mad. Mad times.
Oh, yeah! Sieg Heil, raus!
Today I introduce strippers on live TV, and I like to think that that's Dadaist as well. And again, it's rather like Samuel Beckett.
See you, pal! 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 We sees it all! And you're all English! Well, we're no English. We're Scottish.
Well, it was an amazing time for comedy.
Amazing times.
I think Alan and I were the first Scottish people to really go down to London and tell London audiences of English people what it was like to be Scottish.
And they were amazed. We'd never seen anything like it. Scottish people just didn't do that in the late 70s. We didn't have a national voice.
Well, there was Russ Abbott.
Scottish! We're Scottish! The sons of William Wallace! We're Scottish, not English! Oh, yes, we are, we promise! We're Scottish! We're Scottish! We're our bodies and parents! We're Scottish!
And all the Braveheart movie and that, and the Scottish Parliament. Well, without what we did, I don't think any of that could have happened. It's amazing times.
Also, and I may be wrong about this, but I think we were the first people on what was called back then the alternative circuit to really make fun of Welsh people.
We're Scottish! We're Scottish! And at least we are not Welsh.
We do a lot of voiceovers for commercials nowadays.
Shortbread, haggis, porridge, that sort of thing.
It's very popular with the Scotch accent.
Were amazing times for comedy. We changed the comedy landscape.
Algernon nerd.
Yeah, a lot of people have done that nerd character after me. I'm thinking of Norm from the Twix adverts, played by the actor Kevin Eldon, but I was the first, I believe.
I'm doing the shopping for my mum.
I'm doing the shopping for my mum, of course, became a bit of a national catchphrase, bit of a cross for me to bear. Gang of youths attacked a boy in Leicester with learning difficulties. Quite a nasty scene, but it's not my fault. Don't blame the messenger. You know, I was trying to transfer comedy from the mother-in-law jokes of the 70s to people who were socially inadequate. You know, who, let's face it, were going to get bullied anyway. I wasn't doing any harm at all there.
I like train spotting. I'm doing the shopping for my mum. Yeah, she's packed me some meat paste sandwiches and some Monster Munch. Pickled onion, my favourite.
I did have to kill him off in the end. It just got too much, old Algernon. Just got boring, you know. I have to move on.
I'm doing the shopping for my mum. That's it.
I'm doing a new character now. Archibald Naffman. A Naffman. He likes the internet, you know, space stuff. It's more 90s, yeah. Mum, have you taped Star Trek for me? That's what he says. See, you can see how I've moved on. Amazing times.
Woo! But, you know, democracy kills me.
Bret Wurst. Yeah. I remember I saw Bret do this incredible hit at the store.
I mean, who's this guy rolling over us now? What's his name? Bush. Bush. What the hell is that all about, you know?
About how President Bush, right, should really be called President Shrub. That is brilliant. I think literally to think of him as a bush, as a real bush.
I mean, might as well be called Shrub. You know? Ladies and gentlemen, inauguration of President Shrub. You know, and introducing Vice President Senator Smalltree.
I don't think anyone could take Bush seriously after that. And President Bush, of course, is no longer President of the United States, and I don't think that's a coincidence.
I mean, did JFK die so we could vote in a plant? I don't think so.
Of course, most of the great American stand-ups of that time are dead. Kinison, Bill Hicks. Bret Wurst is still alive, though. But no one knows where he is, which is almost as good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charles and myself...
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
...shall now perform for you a medley of hits of the 70s.
Take it away, Iain.
Well, basically, our act was we'd come on stage and we'd sing punk rock songs of the day in a sort of Noel Coward way.
That was basically it, really.
Oh, I am an anarchist.
I am an antichrist.
I know what I want, but I know how to get it.
I want to destroy passers-by. I want to burn.
Anarchy.
And that's jazz.
I can't say that
I personally look back on that period with any particular pride.
Well, I thought it was quite good.
It was quite good, but it wasn't particularly sophisticated.
Yes, I know, but I think you began to ignore the entire kind of political agenda behind it.
I was perfectly aware of the agenda, Ian. It was simply an agenda that I didn't particularly agree with. At the end of the day, they were
But
just...
I think that actually the audience began to realise that towards the end.
The audience
yes.
began to realise that they were just silly songs and that we were having a laugh. And yes, it provided some entertainment, and that was it. It wasn't high art.
The revolution will begin Friday at tea time. Congress for rioting. Good night.
No more heroes anymore.
No more heroes anymore. No more heroes anymore. No heroes.
There's a kind of degree of avant-gardism, if you'd like, that I think was just not replicated since or before.
It's avant-gardism?
Well, of course.
Doing punk rock songs in an old coward way?
It wasn't just that.
I thought that we were being ironic. We were actually taking the avant-garde and we were actually doing something sophisticated and witty with it, supposedly, which in itself is a nice idea, and yes, it was
Well,
entertaining.
anyway, it finished, and you've had 15 years of rep, and I hope you enjoyed them.
I was down this morning at the DHSS. Because, of course, obviously, I do declare all my income. Well, 1979 was an amazing time for comedy. I remember I had a bit more hair back then. But I remember one night I'd made a particularly tasteless remark about Airy Neve, who had been killed by the IRA that day. We're all glad about something, aren't we? Another thing I was glad about. I was glad to see that Tory MP Airy Neve was assassinated, blown up and killed by the INLA. And it wasn't a great joke, it was just of the moment. And the audience were very like, oh, don't go there. You know, it was very, very tense. What about old Jeremy Beadle, anyway, with this programme? It was probably the first British comic to broadly come out in support of killing old men. That's my thing. Actually, after the act, I was actually invited to Ireland to join the IRA and take part in mortar attacks and so on. But I couldn't go because I had some voiceovers to do for Building Society adverts. Oh. Consider the lily of the field. See how they grow, and yet they neither toil nor spin. Yeah, it was an amazing time for parables, the biblical times. I think what I was trying to do, and I was very much the first person to do this, I think, is I was trying to take the kind of spiritual stories that had always previously been very dry and esoteric and present them to people in a way that they would understand that related to their lives, you know, by talking about wineskins and vineyards, fishing. Consider the lilies.
Well, I have done.
Well, consider it a bit more. Yeah, consider the lilies of the field. I mean, it became ridiculous in the end. People used to shout it at me in the street, or people go, oh, Jesus, consider the lilies of the field. You know, I'd go, yeah, see how they grow, you know, and they'd laugh. Consider the lily of the field. But it became a bit of a cross to bear towards the end. See how they grow, and yet they neither toil nor spin. So I say to you, Matthew, do not be anxious about your life, what you shall eat, what you shall drink, nor about your body and what clothes you shall put on it. It was like I could never get away from this lily thing, and I tried other stuff to do other stuff. Consider this Sponge.
Look, I've had enough of this. Get out. I'm going.
Consider this piece of naan.
Not this again!
Is it not round? I just never get away with it. And I'd be doing all this stuff and people would be going, oh, shouting about the lilies.
Consider the
lilies of the field, yeah. You say, would you do it again? I don't know. You know, but all the same, you know, they were amazing, incredible times, the biblical times.